So there's a few things I think we need to talk about here on our social media platform, and I'm just going to break them down to you in three bullet points really quickly, and I'm going to try to be brief. I would lie to you if this wasn't my first take at trying to do this in under 20 minutes. So I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I'm going to try to make this one as brief as possible, and I'll speak more to some of these things on Sunday when we're together in person. But for brevity's sake, the TLDR. First and foremost, I'd like to speak just a little bit to just the state of the world, to the state of our nation, what's happening right now, and what many of us are experiencing is that we are witnessing all the things that are taking place in our midst right now. Next, I'd like to talk about an offering, an opportunity for us to be able to process through some of this together as a community. I'll speak more to that in a moment. And third, the retreat. Um, be completely honest with you, a lot of days I wake up and I know that I need to work on this retreat, and I just have complete fatigue and apathy about everything. And I'm like, what the hell am I doing trying to plan a retreat in this time? And the Spirit spoke to me the other morning and said, what other time would you need a retreat like this? This is exactly the moment that you need a space for recalibration and for clarity. So, just want to speak to these three things very quickly. I'm going to do my best. First and foremost, I understand the world is extremely chaotic right now. It is a volatile environment that we find ourselves in. And there are things that we are witnessing right now that are completely inhumane and evil. And we're trying to figure out how to make sense of all of this. And I want to encourage you that there isn't necessarily sense to be made of this. I don't want to be dismissive of the uniqueness of our situation and circumstance that we find ourselves in here in the States right now. It is certainly something that needs to be addressed and dealt with and talked about, and activation needs to happen, not just talk. Activation needs to happen. I'll digress on that because these videos that I've been trying to make are so long, damn it. Um, but I want to remind you, my friend, that this world has never had anything to offer us. The systems of this world have always been in cycles of crumbling. Every teacher, Jesus will tell you, my kingdom is not of this world. The Buddha is here to tell you that everything in this world is not satisfying. It will not satisfy you. If you try to seek wholeness and satisfaction through the systems and orders and structures and institutions of this world, you will be disappointed every single time. There is a way out, but it is not through what we think. And so I just want to remind you that the world has always been volatile. There's always been this that is happening. It's just happening in a very new, fresh way, of course, and it's getting to us so quickly now because we have these little screens and technology. But I want to remind you that this is a human experience reality, that there is fragmentation and disorder. That is the nature of this plane. And so if you're trying to find peace through the systems, you're going to be disappointed. I'll digress. Next, we want to offer a space, and by we had a friend in the community who offered to facilitate a space to be able to process some of this stuff together. Not as a place to come together and rally for a particular political movement or anything like that. If I'm not against any of that by all means, but our space is an intentional space to be able to take a rest from the world. Alan Watts has this great quote: muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. And if you do not enter into stillness and you do not process with people who are operating from a higher level of consciousness, you will get stuck in the cycles over and over again and be subject to all of the energy that's around you that will keep you stuck on the wheel of samsara. That's the reality. And so, if we're going to actually help heal the world by first healing our own inner fragmentation instead of perpetuating it, we need spaces to be able to do that. So, a friend in the current community has offered to facilitate space to process everything that's going on. If there is things that you're navigating that's difficult politically, for sure, let's talk about it. But so we're clear, this is a space to be able to help us navigate the human experience together and find our way towards inner peace so that we can be people of peace. So we want to make that as an offering, so be on the lookout for that. Third is the retreat. And again, there's some days that I feel like I'm in paralysis. What am I doing? Trying to think about organizing this retreat, and I know it costs money to do this, and I know many people are it's tight right now because of all this stuff, dude. It's wild, but um, what other time would be better to be able to take a pause from the chaos so that we can see with clarity to engage the world? What I'm not advocating for is to create a bunch of recluse, sort of spiritual bypassing kind of folks. What I do want to do is, though, take moments of time. Every morning, Jesus woke up early and he went by himself into the wilderness to pray. And there were moments of time where nobody could find him where he was at. He needed space to retreat so that he could get clear about his mission and what he was actually here to show up and do. If you do not carve out time to remember who you are and what you are doing here, you will be sucked into the vortex of this world that tells you who you should be and what you should do. And the way you get out of the shoulding is by taking space and time, by personal meditation and spiritual disciplines and practices, yes, and also collective ones, because where two or more are gathered, as Yeshua said, I am there in their midst. And there is a collective energy and spirit that happens whenever we're intentionally seeking our true identity and seeking how to activate that in ways that bring healing and wholeness to this very fragmented world. So, I'll digress with that. If you've stuck around this long, you're a real one. My other video is 23 minutes long. Yikes! But yes, this world is in absolute peril right now. And we need people of peace to remember who they are, to see clearly, so we don't just react to all of these things, because God knows we can react in ways that just perpetuate the same shit, just in different ways. So I'll digress at 7 minutes here and invite you to join us this Sunday. I'm going to be speaking a little bit more about some of these topics in real time, in person. I just wanted to name it, though. We don't have our head in the sand as an organization. We are very disturbed about the things that are happening right now, and we want to offer real ways to help navigate through this and walk each other home, which is why we want to offer a group to be able to process this stuff and then also create space at the retreat to be able to get clear from the static so that we can be the people that the divine is seeking to inhabit in a time that is so desperately needed for those to be bearers of light in this world. So I love you, current community. Reach out if you have any questions. I tried to make this as fast as possible. Everybody knows I don't do short form content stuff. I don't know. I just can't do it. We'll keep this conversation going, and I'll see you this Sunday.